What's wrong with being saucy?
Nothing, I'm just asking you, are you saucy?
I mean, I've always...
Are you a little bit X-rated?
No, not at all. I mean, it's been a permanent source of regret to me that the one thing I've never been involved in is a sex scandal.
Former Conservative MP Neil Hamilton and his wife Christine had been arrested by police in connection with allegations of a serious sexual assault.
Up one more flight of stairs. I was in a confusing block of flats in Battersea in London to meet Neil and Christine Hamilton. At this point in history, Neil was best known for being a disgraced ex-Tory minister, disgraced for allegedly taking bribes in return for doing favours. Christine was best known for being the wife of a disgraced ex-Tory minister. The plan was for me to follow them as they sought to be known for something else.
Oh, you found it.
How do you do?
What a mouthful of
Nice to
melon.
meet you.
Nice
You're
to
Christine,
meet
I'm
you.
Louis.
You're Louis, jolly good.
Your hair looks more normal now.
More normal.
No, but do you know what I mean? Because before it looked quite sort of... When you were doing the trial, it looked sort of... It was like a bit more metallic.
Metallic.
Do you know what I mean? Looked
No.
harder.
Yes. No, I've got it. I've been done over.
I haven't met you before, so I don't know. I don't know. You,
No,
maybe
no.
it's the seeing you on TV, maybe. But you look excellent.
Thank you. Am I allowed to give you a kiss? No.
Why not? Thank
Anyone
you.
who says that to me, it's just a bit easier to manage.
Who's that?
Well, I hope it's Neil.
Is that Neil?
Yeah. I'm assuming that's you. What? Oh, they are here, poking around.
There he is.
Oh, God.
Look at him. How are you doing?
Good morning.
No, darling, this is Louis.
Hello, Louis. Hello, Mum.
He's incredible. He's really got himself into shape. He's lost, how much have you lost? 2.5 stone? Something?
Well, I haven't lost it. I've converted flap to muscle.
Can I feel your muscle? Oh, let's...
Oh, that? Well, I see. I wondered which muscle you were talking
That's
about.
not bad, though.
Not bad for 52.
Now flex it.
Yeah.
Now flex it. Now flex it.
My triceps are better than my biceps.
You know, these are pretty solid.
Are they?
It's the trunks that Christine likes best.
Come on, you get in the bar.
So what is your job now? What do you do?
Well, I describe us as professional objects of curiosity. People like you come and interview us.
Is that really... This is your main...
Well, it's not...
Sort
we do a
of
lot
occupation?
media work generally, radio, TV, writing. We had to decide after the general election in 1997 when we both lost our jobs overnight. What are we going to do now?
You lost in 97 to Martin Bell.
Yeah.
Couldn't you have run again this year, in 2001?
Well, I could have done if I hadn't been bankrupt.
You can't bankrupt run for
Bankrupts
office.
can't be elected to Parliament.
I want to know why you've got pictures of the BBC here.
Yeah, because I sued them for libel.
Now, what was that about?
Successfully. That was Panorama.
So you haven't always had a run of bad luck with the courts?
No, well, justice was done in that case.
What was it all about?
Well, I was accused of being a closet Nazi. His aim was to take over the Tory party, and we were going to install a fascist dictatorship in Britain.
Any truth?
Well, it sounds credible, doesn't it? But there it is.
Any truth?
History will relate. No, of course it was completely untrue.
Margaret Thatcher. Friend?
Yes.
Really?
She's been a very loyal friend and a very loyal supporter. No, she's not a dear friend, but she's somebody we're extremely fond of and admire enormously. And she's been very, very
Neil?
good to us.
Yeah, I was in her government.
Like her?
She's a
great
great...
days.
Oh, yes, she's
Respect
wonderful.
her?
Respect
Yes.
her, yeah.
Yeah, she's a
Respect
great...
her enormously?
Enormously.
She's a great lady.
She changed the world.
Changed the world.
She did.
Can I ask about this?
That's my battle axe.
Do you mind being called a battle axe?
Not in the slightest, no.
What about you, Neil? Do you mind it being said that you're married to a battle axe?
No, because that's the brand that we're selling.
Is that the brand that you're selling? I like that. Is that your brand? If you're a battle axe in the brand, what are you in the brand? What is it? Sort of dormouse? You know, what is the figure? Battle axe and...
Dormouse. What's the difference between a dormouse and a doormat?
It's a joke, isn't it?
No, it is. It's tongue-in-cheek.
I don't mind remotely being called a battle axe. It's a load of rubbish,
Everybody
really.
knows it's a load of
I'm a pussycat.
But I want to know what Neil is in the brand.
Oh, when he meant brand, he meant me being
Yes.
branded the battle axe.
Yes, I'm
Because
nothing in
there's
that brand.
There's not a... That's the only...
Didn't you mean
brand.
media brand?
No, just...
Do you mean like brand? That's your brand.
No, well, Christine
I've got this
is a
idea.
battle axe for the purposes of generating
Media interest.
media interest.
Yes. And you are?
Well, I'm not the downtrodden husband.
Why not?
Well, I suppose I could be.
Because if he was downtrodden, that would mean I was treading on him, and I'm not. And these little rude tiles of people chasing each other round with nothing on.
They were done by William Rushton.
So are you quite a saucy couple of people?
Oh, yes.
No, I'm very steady.
Because I think Conservatives aren't supposed to... They're strong on family, but they're not supposed to be as sexually liberated as people on the left, are they?
Well, that wasn't our experience during the last Tory government, was it?
No, but that's why they got in trouble. Do you see what I mean?
Yes. What's wrong with being saucy?
Nothing, I'm just asking you, are you saucy?
I mean, I've always...
Are you a little bit X-rated?
No, not at all. I mean, it's been a permanent source of regret to me that the one thing I've never been involved in is a sex scandal.
What about Al Fayed's accused you of procuring rent boys?
Yes, he has, hasn't he?
That's a sex scandal, isn't it?
Can we get one thing sorted out before we go any further? He is not Al Fayed. He's fired.
You don't really mind me saying Al Fayed, do you, Christine?
You mustn't take anything I say seriously. Yes, I do.
You do? So which answer am I supposed to believe? Does she mind?
Far be it from me to
tell
you what her mind is.
With the name of Al Fayed, or even just Fired, coming up so often, it seemed like a good time to deal with the scandal the Hamiltons were then famous for. Al Fayed's claim that Neil had taken cash to ask questions on his behalf in Parliament. I don't really follow politics that much, so I'm just sort of victim of the press to a degree, but from what I can understand, the world at large generally seems to hold the opinion that you've done something pretty naughty.
Because I've been monstered unmercifully in the press over the years on all these allegations.
It is established that you did something wrong, is it not?
No.
You don't...
I lost a libel action.
You lost a libel action, and the Parliament... Didn't some sort of parliamentary inquiry find against you?
Yeah, well, a parliamentary commission...
So just to be clear, though, you don't accept that you did anything wrong?
No.
And so Neil, Christine and I started to spend some time together. First at a party they'd been invited to celebrate the publication of a new book by their friend Giles Brandreth.
Oh, look, here he is. This is a magic moment. Very special people.
Yes, Mr. Thoreau.
You're jolly lucky to have this quality here.
Last night, funnily enough, I was reading a thing that you'd written about them where you said Neil and Christine deny the allegations, cash for questions, etc., and I'm ready to believe them. But the more they get slandered, the more one begins to doubt, or something like that. So what, I mean, is that your view? Do you think that maybe they did something wrong?
The problem was that the drip, drip, drip every day, people saying to you, the papers saying and everyone's saying they're guilty, you begin to think, well, maybe there has to be something in this.
I mean, that's what I believe.
And lots of people do. And I take the view that Neil acknowledges that he may have done foolish things in the past, maybe greedy, self-indulgent things, but he absolutely categorically denies that he took cash in return for asking questions in the brown envelopes. And I have no reason not to believe him.
No, but Ancram is just a bloated old fart, isn't it? It's hopeless, utterly hopeless.
He doesn't mean anything.
Utterly hopeless. Bloated old fart.
They are guilty. That's how they are perceived. And of course, the more it's said, the more mud is thrown, some of it sticks. Boom, 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 boom. When did it begin this? 1993, 1994? Boom, 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 boom. You're a crook. Boom, 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 boom. Knocked over. You're a crook. And the only person in their intimacy, I mean, what's so marvellous about them is they have this extraordinary marriage. That doesn't mean to say because somebody is... that actually they aren't a real vulnerable human being as well.
No.
And there are splendid British virtues, such as the stiff upper lip. I mean, actually, it's something that's rather admirable. So... mustn't get emotional.
No, we mustn't get emotional, but but people, because I always come out jolly and bouncy up front, people assume that that's how you are and you don't care, but of course that's not the case. I'm as vulnerable as the next person.
You have to accept, Christina, I don't accept your version of events, but I don't think that should get in the way of us getting on. Do you think we can get past that?
Well, it's quite difficult if you don't accept, because if you don't accept our version of events, then you're saying that we're a pair of liars, and that actually will inhibit seriously maybe even the continuation of making of this programme.
By this point, it seemed pretty clear that the Hamiltons and I would never agree about cash for questions, and I only hoped we could get beyond that. A few days later, and keen to talk more about the Hamiltons' fledgling media career, Neil and Christine showed me Posh Nosh, a pilot for a TV series they'd made. Its premise was that the Hamiltons would arrive in their Bentley at a stranger's house and organise a luxurious meal for them. Christine seemed relaxed and confident in front of the cameras, Neil, less so.
Because it's New Labour, you see, New Labour, new alcohol. Yeah.
No offence, but your body language is very odd. Don't you think, Christine? Can you see that? He walks like a marionette somehow.
Mother gets served first.
As yet, the pilot hadn't been picked up by any TV station, but it was another good example of the Hamilton brand.
Terry, one. Any more girls?
Thank you very much. Cheers to you all.
When I joined Neil for his daily exercises later, we talked more about their roles as media characters.
We have to be wary of sending ourselves up too much and being made to behave in too demeaning a way. I think you've got to have a sense of humour, and you mustn't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah, in a way that's your new career though, isn't it? Sending yourself up, caricaturing yourself a bit.
That's certainly true, yes.
So it's a dangerous game, isn't it, in a way?
So
have you worked out what the limits are, Neil?
Have you worked out what the limits are? Well, I'm not sure it's possible to work them out. I think it's something you learn by experience, isn't it?
And so the days continued, and we followed Neil and Christine's routine. But with Posh Nosh not looking like being commissioned anytime soon, and not many other offers coming in, the fact was that Neil and Christine didn't have a lot going on. To be truthful, I was starting to worry where this documentary was heading, and how interesting it was going to be. Two weeks later, and during dinner one night, Neil and Christine mentioned a mysterious event taking place the following Friday.
We don't 100% know what is going to happen on Friday because Neil has to speak to his solicitor.
Anyway, I
don't want to go into it.
On Friday I'll find out what it is and then that'll be an end of it?
No.
Well, it may be, but it may not.
I think I know what it is.
I'll tell you. Listen.
No, you won't.
I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm not. Sorry, when I say I'm going to tell you, I don't mean that. If you know what it is, or if you think you know what it is, then I am, frankly, horrified. If you can even countenance.
Well, maybe I don't.
No, I don't think you do. You can't know what it is because it is so. If you really, you wouldn't be sitting here now if you knew what it was. Anyway, I need another glass of wine. I do, I'm afraid.
It does sound quite serious.
It is serious.
It could be.
It is. I mean,
Could certainly be.
We're making light of it because life has to go on, but it is. Well, it's caused a lot of heartache already, hasn't it?
Friday arrived, and I was given instructions to meet Neil and Christine outside their solicitor's office in central London, where all would be revealed. Hello. Hello. So can we finally put an end to the mystery? Okay.
Right, well, they say that life is what happens to you when you're making out the plans.
Right.
This is something that we hadn't really anticipated when we agreed to do this programme.
Okay.
But this afternoon we're going off to the Barkingside police station.
Right.
Where Christine and I are going to be arrested.
No. What for?
We're going to be arrested, apparently, on accusations of indecent assault.
Both of us, apparently, are going to be arrested. Some woman has said that we, not just Neil, but we, indecently assaulted her.
What does that mean, indecent assault?
Well, we don't know. We don't know the details.
Is that sexual?
Apparently, she has alleged that on the 5th of May, Christine and I were at a sex party in Ilford, and that an indecent assault was committed. Well, I mean, it's absolutely preposterous, but we don't know any more than that. Michael Coleman may be able to, my solicitor...
That you attacked her together?
We don't know the details.
We don't know the details. We may not find out till we get to the police station.
Now, this is Michael Coleman, my solicitor. Say hello. Louis?
How do you do? Nice to meet you, Michael.
We've just explained the background.
Do you want to step in a second?
You've represented who else? Jonathan Aitken, am I right?
I've represented Jonathan Aitken. I represented James Hewitt when we got the Diana...
You get all popular people. Do you specialise in... in that type of client?
I come into firefighting situations after...
Is that what you specialise in, firefighting?
It tends to be what I'm known for. What we're about to do today is go for an arranged arrest at Barkingside Police Station. The suspicion, of course, is that this is a set-up by either one of the newspapers or one of the people who are otherwise upset with the Hamiltons, but I'm sure we'll see that.
What purpose would it serve? I mean, OK, maybe the papers would run with it for a couple of days and then it would be immediately clear that it was...
If the Hamiltons are arrested... For an allegation, right? That will be true.
Hamilton's arrested on sex charge. There's your headline.
Right. Then Hamilton's released on sex charge. Makes a small headline.
It's an interesting story, isn't it? I mean, I'm interested in it immediately. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, in a ghoulish sense.
Yeah.
It's highly likely that Neil and Christine will appear on the front page of one of the newspapers in the next couple of days, either walking into or walking out of the police station with the headline allegation. And for their point of view, what this gives is an opportunity. This documentary may not be aired for some time after the news, but at least it gives anyone viewing it a better picture of what really goes on, certainly with newspapers and so on in this country.
How are we doing for time?
I think we should probably leave about now.
I should go in the back.
Right.
I could do without being marched off to police stations with threats of being searched, goodness knows what. I mean, what a flaming cheek. Jumped up little Hitlers.
Will there be any refreshments in the police station?
Yeah, if you want it. They're not allowed to beat you up. They used to be allowed to, but not anymore.
What, beat you up?
Yeah, they got banned a few years ago. That's spoiled. That weekend, you said you came back from Greece or something.
No, we were off to Italy on the Monday.
Saturday the 5th of May.
That Saturday we were in London.
You were in London on that?
Who were you with that day?
We had a dinner party in the evening with 4 people in the flat.
What time did they arrive? What time did they leave?
Arrived about 7, I should think.
I didn't leave till after midnight.
We don't disclose any of that to the police until they say in much more precise detail what the allegation is. You can understand, I hope, why I tell you to be quiet, don't give the answer immediately.
I promise you, contrary to all history and experience, I shall not say a word unless you instruct me to say it.
What does that mean?
That I shall be good.
Does your mouth get you in trouble sometimes, Christine?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, I shall be perfectly happy to say nothing to the police.
As we travelled to East London, Michael delivered some home truths on the role of lawyers as he saw it.
Being a lawyer is not application of law, it's a manipulation of people psychologically in order for them to behave in a way that they think they're behaving freely, which suits your purpose. And again, that's what we're doing today. This really hasn't got anything to do about law. I mean, principally what this is about is a psychology game where you're the victims, or you're the ball, as it were, and policemen and I are the players.
This is what I object to in lawyers, is our lives are at stake.
For the fact that we get such pleasure in playing with them.
Yeah, but an intellectual game.
It is an intellectual game.
It's not very flattering, is it? Made you sound like, what did he say, football? You're a ball.
We kicked about.
And it doesn't matter if you're innocent or guilty.
No, we are. That is how we do. That is exactly. The newspapers don't care whether you're innocent or guilty as long as it's a good story. All they're interested in is shifting newspaper. I think it's possible. I hope it's more than possible that there won't be any.
We headed towards the police station, keeping a lookout for any photographers as we walked. The coast seemed clear. Michael Coleman felt that the police should not be aware of our filming Neil and Christine, so we broke away as they neared the building. It was about 3 in the afternoon at this stage, and we began to wait. About 45 minutes later, a few journalists and photographers started to arrive, and over the next 4 hours, more and more followed. Who tipped them off, we'll never know. For the record, it wasn't me. But by 8 o'clock, it was a genuine press pack, with TV cameras with live satellite links. Christine was not going to be pleased.
This afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton, by arrangement with the police, were arrested. This arrangement was made 2 weeks ago. An accusation has been made against them that they took part in a rape and indecent assault of a woman in Ilford on Saturday the 5th of May. The details of that allegation are quite horrific, and I think it's appropriate that you know of the allegation in order that if there's any one of you interested in it, you should detail it. It's said that Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton were in a flat in Ilford when a young woman was raped. Whilst she was raped, it's also said that Mr. Hamilton was masturbating onto her, whilst another man, as yet unidentified by the police, was also masturbating onto her, and Mrs. Hamilton was squatting on her face. One point which came out during the course of their interviews, which is probably appropriate for you to know, is that the police raised the name Max Clifford. No charges have been made against any person, and certainly no charges have been made against either Mr. or Mrs. Hamilton.
I take it, Mr. Hamilton, you deny this. We deny this fabrication absolutely categorically. Mrs. Hamilton, what are your thoughts here on these very serious allegations?
I'm very happy to stand next to my husband.
What are your thoughts about these serious allegations?
The whole thing is an absolute monstrous fabrication and a lie. And the fact that Max Clifford's name has been put to us by the police is absolutely no surprise whatsoever. You can all get your phone.
Thank you.
Are you able to tell us what you were doing on the night? The whole thing is a monstrous lie and a fabrication, and it ought to be perfectly obvious to you that it is.
It was much more serious than I could have possibly imagined. With hindsight, maybe I should have been pleased I had such a scoop, but nothing had prepared me for this, and I wasn't sure what my role would now be.
So are you going with that?
Mr. Hamilton, please. Can I just have both of you?
Put your bag down. Okay. You got your camera running? Amazing, isn't it? Sorry, you sure you don't mind the window? Right, we're ready? Good luck, by the way. Thank you. Can you both this way, please?
Okay, thanks very much.
Hello, Miss Hamilton.
So what happened?
Oh, God.
Well,
The whole thing is an absolute nightmare. As we thought, Max Clifford. Why would the police ask us about Max Clifford? Then, of course he's behind it. He's got what he wanted. Whatever happens now, if we never hear another thing about it, we'll be all over the front pages. And I had to phone my mother and tell her what was happening. Can you imagine? Granny, I'm in Barkingside Police Station. I've been accused of rape. We had a friend who went to pick her up, and she went round to the house to let the policeman in. They've been there for about 2 hours. You know, 6 policemen are combing our house.
Yes, who's calling?
Opening every drawer, every cupboard. They've taken away some papers. They're searching in all my clothes for a blue dress.
For a blue dress?
This woman said that I was wearing a blue dress, so they're going through all my clothes looking for a blue... I mean, it's absolutely
on the
monstrous.
steps of the police station,
Oh,
my
dear.
solicitor made a statement outlining what the allegation was.
I just can't believe
we
this is happening.
denied it. And, well, it's an allegation of indecent assault.
Rape, sort of indecent
against
assault.
a woman whom we'd never heard of.
I have no idea.
But anyway, I'm not going to say any more now. So it'll all be on the tapes, and I'm sure there was somebody from the Guardian there anyway. So,
If that's the Guardian, they can just put it down, darling. Don't even talk to them.
I'm not. Sorry, I can't talk any more now.
Guardian? Don't even give them battery space.
Are you talking to the Guardian, Neil?
Well, I'm helpful by nature, aren't I?
Michael, why did you choose to be so graphic about describing the alleged offence?
We discussed that inside. I chose to be so graphic because otherwise, bit by bit, the details are going to come out. And I think it's appropriate for us to, one of these situations, face it head on. Here are all the details. They're all completely untrue. You won't get an exclusive, this is a great expose, here or there. Whether it's right or wrong, I suppose time will tell.
The only identifying characteristic she could come up with was a blue dress.
Yeah. She doesn't even know whether I'm circumcised or not.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
No, we asked that question of the police. They don't know, needless to say, they haven't thought to ask it.
I asked the policeman, does she say circumcised or not? And they said, well, is he? And I said, no, you ask her whether he is.
What happened? Did you be quite understandable? Did you start crying?
Of course I got upset. I got immensely distressed. When the sergeant... Do you know what he actually said? They were, at one stage, they were going to put us in a cell, each lock us in a cell. Can you believe it? Just because Max Clifford and some tart have invented this allegation. Why the hell don't I? Of course I get upset about it. The whole thing is just, had enough to put up with in our lives without all these sort of lies being told about us.
So what happens next, then?
We may just hear that the investigation has been dropped and the police are returning their property.
The damage has been done now, isn't it?
The damage has been done by virtue of the fact that you got so distressed.
Oh, Michael, for God's sake, stop being so clinical about it.
No, I didn't mean it quite like that. I mean, the fact is that you getting distressed, and that in its nature is harm to you, irrespective of what else.
What am I supposed to do?
Take it in your stride.
Oh, Michael, for God's sake, it's only a game to you and a job. It's my life, it's my reputation, and I've had enough of me. It's just a ridiculous thing to say. Take it in a stride. I had to take so much in a stride. Enough.
My relationship with Neil and Christine had taken a strange turn. With the Hamilton brand now nowhere to be seen, I was sitting in the back seat of a car with them, wondering whether they were guilty of a serious sexual assault. It was around this time that I started to bite my nails again. There was no way of knowing how all this would turn out, but we were a long way from posh nosh.
That's right, you got a real exclusive.
I need some more wine. I kept asking the police for wine and they wouldn't give it to me.
Back at Michael Coleman's house, Christine fortified herself with white wine.
But it's outrageous.
Anyway.
They haven't found a blue dress.
The surreal events of the day were almost becoming normal, and in spite of the allegations against Neil and Christine, I decided to travel on with them.
No, but what makes me so annoyed is... I've forgotten.
Christine, I think you should wait till you've had something to eat, at least.
Yeah, quite right.
Honestly, I just feel as though I'm in a...
Yeah, well, I think you've said enough.
All right, I've said enough. I know, I've had 3 or 4 glasses
You
of
have?
wine.
And I think we need to have something to eat.
We do, well...
I hesitate to say you need to get something inside you.
Hold on, I've got to say. Will, if you broadcast that, I shall come round personally and stab you.
As we continued on to Battersea, Neil and Christine revealed that they were thinking of selling exclusive rights to their story to the Mail on Sunday.
Some newspapers are interested in the truth, and they're interested in listening to our side of the story, and the Mail on Sunday is one of those.
The Mail on Sunday would be a very good newspaper for us to get our side of the story.
And
it's got 2.25 million sales on Sunday. It's the biggest selling Sunday newspaper, apart from tabloid crap like the News of the World, which apparently is going to do all the Tart story.
Will they? You should get some... I mean, if nothing else, you should get some money out of this, shouldn't you?
Oh, don't be... Honestly, Louis, for God's sake...
Are you going to pay us some money?
Do you know,
That's a great idea, Louis.
The amount you're paying us per minute of all this business is an absolute nonsense. But there we are, never mind.
Imagine.
Don't you think, Neil?
What an exclusive like this would be worth in the outside world.
Will you
and we're giving it to you for nothing.
Will you stop being... Can you imagine? Well,
it's very saleable, though.
It's very saleable.
It's very saleable, but there we are.
If we wanted to, I could have said, oh, we're far too tired to do any more filming with you today, and then we could have gone off and done something with somebody else and charged them a huge amount of money.
Back at Neil and Christine's flat, the press were waiting.
The policeman's got the keys, hasn't
Well,
he?
I don't know.
Well, of course you know. That's the point.
Okay, well, I'll go and find the policeman.
No, I'll go and find them. You sit... You just sit...
No,
sit...
Wait, look. I don't think you should, honestly.
No, look, I don't think...
Stand outside the... I've got
How are you doing?
Feel that this is publicity.
Ma'am, this way, please.
Thanks. What's going on? I found some keys.
We're not going to make any more statements.
No, I know. Well, I just can't. This is a non-story. I mean, I know it's August, but
Thank you. Not a non-story. It is a pack of lies. No more comments.
If you'll forgive me, it's an interesting lifestyle that's being revealed. Do you feel it?
This is not our lifestyle that's being
We are
revealed.
not going to make any more comments.
No, we're not. Come on. Well, how do we get out of this
We
stuff?
get the car in the garage and unpack.
Yeah, you do see.
And we'll unpack up.
I think it was a bit of a tactical error for her to get pissed before she faced the press.
Quite. Absolutely right. Well, she's not pissed, but she is tired and emotional.
Christine, you mustn't keep talking to the press, really.
We're going upstairs for keys.
How are you feeling tonight, Christine?
How would you be feeling? You've been
Feeling hungry, that's why we're back.
I'll tell you what I'm feeling. That's innocent, completely innocent as always.
Bye.
Just put that camera down and open the wine and do something useful.
Harrow's owner, Mohammed Fayed, did not. He left him with huge debts, and earlier this year he was declared bankrupt. Tonight, the Hamiltons were released without charge. Their lawyers say they'll cooperate with any further police inquiries into this, their most bizarre brush with the law. John Ray, ITN.
And John joins us now from outside of the Hamiltons' home in South London. John, I gather the Hamiltons have just arrived home.
Yes, Julie, well, within the last sort of 10 minutes they arrived back, looking very tired. I think you can see from the pictures here. No sign, though, that they're at all trying to lie low with this. A couple have courted the media for so much of their lives in the past 7 years. In the company of a documentary TV crew tonight, Christine Hamilton told me when I asked her how she felt, she said, "I feel innocent, as I always feel innocent." And also Christine Hamilton, again, standing by her man, as she has throughout all their trials and tribulations through the past few years. They will protest their innocence long and hard throughout the inquiry.
John Ray, thank you very much.
By her woman.
A woman who flew
believe
abroad on
this.
holiday, leaving her 4 young children in the care of her 16-year-old
Well, there you are.
was today sentenced to
Fame at
2
last.
years
Do you believe
probation.
this?
It's
Amanda
too bizarre.
Walters' negligence
Turn the sound
be
down.
real, can it?
But this is the
Shall we
television.
turn the sound down now?
The judge called her selfish and said she escaped jail only because the youngsters hadn't been harmed. Tom Bradley
It's hard to believe.
I cannot believe that I've just come up from the garage and I turn on the television and there I am. I mean,
You started running off at the mouth outside.
yes, because I am not prepared to be told by Michael Coleman you're not to say anything. I am not going to be accused of all these things and go out in front of goodness knows how many press people and say nothing. I won't get into the details because he doesn't want me to, and I understand that and all this, but I am not prepared not to come out and say this is an absolute load of cobblers on stilts. We are innocent. And for Michael to think that I'm just going to stand there on the steps quietly and say nothing is to underestimate or misjudge or whatever.
And of course, the killer point in all this is I'm going to produce medical evidence to show that I'm impotent.
Oh, for good, darling, will you stop quipping?
It's so hard
Honestly.
to tell when Neil's joking, isn't it? Is that a joke, Neil?
It is such a preposterous allegation.
Yeah, but it is so unpleasant. Of course,
Of course it's unpleasant.
It is so I mean, listen. I know I might have said this before, but I'm
It's
going...
incredible.
Shut up.
It's unbelievable.
I have had... Just think, I don't know whether you even have a mother, but I presume you do. I have had to ring my mother... And he accuses me.
Hello?
In a strange way, because the accusations are so bizarre, they may end up helping this
think so?
weird brand that you've evolved.
Oh, Louis. Brand. You talk to us about a weird brand. You're the weird brand.
But do you know what I mean, though?
Well, you've made weirdness.
No, because
into
the
an art
bankruptcy and the firehead thing, that's a bit... Sort of,
old hat
it was
now.
old hat, and it was sort of, and even I, when we were doing this, was like, well, they are interesting, they've got an interesting relationship, but all the scandals are a bit passé, and this does, I mean, I don't think most people will believe it, but they will think, ooh, there's something a bit interesting about them. They're an
Do
intriguing
you
couple.
think, Louis, that you have invested in what's the word? Invented all this for the purposes of your documentary?
Oh, that's a point, isn't it? I never thought of that.
What's
This
the
is the real
question?
You're
conspiracy.
just saying, basically,
You're behind this.
in shorthand, you were saying the Hamiltons were getting a bit boring because all the allegations are old hat. And suddenly we've got this, and here you are.
There must be lots of
Do you
people...
think I've invented it? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm not sure. A mistake of case and identity. A mistake of case and identity. Actually, Louis did it. Neil didn't.
Isn't
A quick one.
That's the most extraordinary thing that... I rang up my bank. I rang up my bank the other day.
And I
Michael's
said,
pretty solid, I
Yeah,
think.
he's pretty sorry. Well, if he thinks...
well, I'm sorry, but I've really
Michael.
had enough of this. I am an upfront, open, honest person. I am fed up of being... turn that Willy thing off.
We didn't film Neil and Christine on the Saturday since the day was taken up doing their interview for the Mail on Sunday, and I'd been grateful for a day of peace and reflection. Having read all the papers that weekend, I found it hard to believe any of the allegations. On Sunday, I returned. With the press still camped on their doorstep, Neil and Christine were planning to travel up to their house in Cheshire that afternoon.
Hello, it's Christine Hamilton. You've just left a message on the answering machine. I'm not ringing with anything very exciting. I'm really ringing to say that we're not making any individual comments. I've got Anne on the phone. She's gone to get Robert, so why don't you pick it up in the other room and sort it out? Turn the bath off first.
I saw there was a story in the Mail that you'd cooperated with, and a photo in the Mail as well of you and Neil sitting on your bed. Can I ask whether they paid for that?
You can ask.
And what did they?
Mind your own business.
How much?
Mind your own business.
10,000.
Mind your own business. Why are you so obsessed with money, Louis?
I'm just curious. I'm just curious how the mechanics work. I don't think it... I mean, crikey, you might as well make a few shillings out of it. Hey, don't you think?
I'm not commenting.
This is me, Christina. I'm not a journalist. I'm a friend. Clifford's also been giving interviews where he sort of said, oh, the Hamiltons, did you read this? They're like a pantomime couple. Did you read that one? He said, you're like Widow Twanky and Neil's like Buttons. As if to say, well, even if it turns out to be bogus, who cares? It's only the Hamiltons.
Well, that's his views.
Well, I thought that's quite shocking.
Who cares what Max Clifford says? Hello? Oh, Max, hello. Hello, no, I'm joking.
Look at this dodgy character. I knew he was involved.
I must say, I've roared with
How did he
laughter
get
when I saw
involved?
that. Where are my glasses gone?
Seriously, I mean,
Where
with
did
all
they
due
get
respect,
that
and I do
picture
have a lot
from?
of sympathy for you. Don't drag me into this, please.
You're in it. Don't be silly.
I'm clean.
Don't be silly.
I went to one swingers party, and you mentioned me during the police. You mentioned me in the police interview as well, saying I showed you what swingers were.
Hello? You did. Hello? Yes?
Neil and Christine were front-page news, but some papers were more sympathetic than others. Neil mentioned he was considering suing some of them for libel. Despite that, they both prepared themselves to make another statement to the press.
Is he dressed properly for this occasion, or do you think he should look... I think he should look a little bit...
Do I look...
Put a better shirt.
Do I look too much like a wacky TV presenter?
Well,
that's what
I would just like to be done. These photographs are going to be all over the place. I would like to be proud of
Do you think, one thing that's going to... Do you think if you bring libel actions, as you say you might, that it could end up actually making a bit of money, couldn't it?
Listen, let's just get through today. Thank you very much, Lou.
Anybody who goes into libel cases
thinking they're going
to make money out of them obviously doesn't know much about the English law of libel.
Really?
Because...
We'll just say no, you don't have to do a big explanation.
But, and anyway, libel awards are all about compensation for damage actually done. Should we be doing this in front of the camera?
We've done it. Oh, for goodness sake.
Could you make some money out of it?
I've no idea. Probably not at the end of the day.
Possibly.
No.
Nothing.
Why is that?
I went into my...
Why is that something to... That's not something to worry too much about, I don't think.
Well, it depends how it's presented, because if it's presented as greed and lust for money and so on...
No one's going to suggest that you trumped up a rape charge against you so that you could make money in ensuing libel action. No. I'm just saying, in one of life's ironies, the whole thing may work out to your financial advantage.
Maybe a blessing in disguise, you say?
No, I wouldn't go that far. No. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm. But,
which seems to me an obvious point, and not controversial.
No, not at all.
I wouldn't pull that out a little bit.
Thank you, darling. Just a bit, yes. He sort of tuckers himself up so much.
You just want to look a bit more relaxed.
No, wait a moment. No, not too.
And pull them down a teeny bit. Just so they're a bit more on the hip.
I wouldn't have put the jeans on.
They look better with the belt.
Yes, well, shall I go back and get a belt?
Come on, let's
They're not going to be interested in my name.
No, they're not.
Are they?
Oh, dear.
Something like, why don't you just say, would you like to come upstairs for a quick orgy?
Look, Louis.
Because...
Stop it! Stop it!
Because this is what the brewery is really interested in. We're so disgusted by it.
Darling, will you stop it? Or I won't come out.
Look at that, there's messes on them.
Oh, my God.
The person who's made these false allegations shelters behind anonymity, whereas we, the victims, have our names and faces plastered all over the newspapers, all over this country, with the most grotesque and disgusting allegations made about things that we are supposed to have done.
Oh, I don't want to be in the... I thought we were going in... I don't want to be in the...
We're taking Louis to Cheshire for the weekend.
Former Conservative Minister Neil Hamilton has said publicly that sex allegations against him and his wife Christine are a complete tissue of lies.
Stop and say hello to them on the way down. There's the sky ditch on the left. You're going to stop and say it.
Me? No, I don't think it's better.
How are you? All right, just come down if you like. Thank you. Watch your toes. Hello.
These are your films.
Can we do a little kiss?
Yeah, it's all right.
Outside, some of the press were camped at the end of the drive all night. Inside, after supper, I speculated how this whole story might have come about. For some reason, you have a hold over the public imagination, and there's a sexual dimension to
Is
it.
there?
Whether you like or not, whether you agree or disagree.
Why do you think that?
Why is it the case, or why do I think it?
Why do you think that?
Did you think that?
When I mention the Hamiltons, people go, "Oh yes, oh you know, there's something funny about that couple."
No, they don't.
They do.
I simply don't believe
Funny
you.
in what way?
Tell me anybody who's said that and give me the time.
What are their names?
Nobody said that to you. You're inventing that.
I absolutely insist.
Well, you can insist as much as you like. I do not believe you. And I certainly don't believe that anything is said to you of that nature before Friday. People might be saying
No,
now.
I swear. And to a degree, I've thought it myself. I thought they're intriguing, you know. I think a lot of what's going on at the moment hinges on this perception. I think there's a desire, a belief in the public that there's a sort of there's a secret, maybe
No, seriously, there's a secret at the heart of your relationship that no one knows.
Called love. Or Winked Omnia.
Do you not know what I'm talking about? I think you're playing with that perception a little bit.
Do you really? You honestly? Hang on, let me get my glass.
Yeah, have another drink.
I'm going to sit down. I can't.
Does that really? You don't.
I don't understand what you're talking about, really.
Really?
No.
But I've never had this put to me before, that people actually think that there's some sort of hidden something. But therefore people might think, in the light of the last 48 hours, oh yes, of course. Well, we know. Now it's explained.
We live in...
The people that it plays into a perception that, oh yeah, I always thought there was something funny about them.
I think that's horrible. Do you really think people think that?
Well, they may well do.
To a point, I think they do, yeah.
But have people said this to you?
But I mean, to most people, we're celluloid characters, aren't we?
Yes, we're not real. We're just like a soap opera. We are a perfectly ordinary, normal couple. Just
well, can I ask a sensitive question bearing on that?
Yes.
I mean, are you sexually pretty normal?
Yes, completely 100% normal. We're just a perfectly normal, yes. Absolutely normal. We have no deviations, absolutely nothing. We're just very happy with each other.
Too boring to have deviations.
We have no problems. We've never had any problems. We've had we have a great life. Thank you very much. And we're in here. So if you get desperate in the night, this is where we are. This is where we probably will.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's this picture of?
That's Edward.
That's our nephew.
Okay.
That's sweet.
So
All right, that's wonderful.
Would you like a sleeping tablet?
No, I'm all right. Thank you, though.
This is the Margaret Helga Thatcher Memorial.
Who's there?
And this is your loo.
Thank you.
Louis.
Wow, look at this. This is excellent.
Upon which the Thatcherial bottom
Neil,
reposed.
stop it!
Is it true that did Margaret Thatcher really stay here once?
I'm backing out of this.
Neil?
She came for tea.
And she went to
And she occupied this suite.
So, but just to clarify, Margaret Thatcher did go to the loo in there?
Stop it.
Stop
Don't be
it.
vulgar,
Neil?
Louis.
That's really very vulgar. And like the Queen, she doesn't have to.
Oh, for goodness sake, come along. So you know where we are if you need anything. Within reason. Oh, dear.
Monday morning, and as I slept, Neil was up early, searching for evidence to back up their alibi for the 5th of May.
Very good. I found that Christine was in the King's Road in Chelsea on the day in question at 3 o'clock in Marks and Spencer's. So we'll get the CCTV footage of her going into the store. Right, John Pearson. Now, I found some bills. You were at Marks and Spencer's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's exactly what I said to them. Exactly what I said to the policeman. I said,
You went to Snappy Snaps before. Hello?
Hello.
Andy, it's Neil. Hello. We'll do a photo call at 12:15. And it should be quite a good photograph. I'll organise something which is very photographable for you. So we'll do a photo call with a banner for the website.
It was still early in the morning, but I could see Neil had big plans for today's press conference. He told me about his own website before, all about the Cash for Questions affair, and seemed convinced that holding a big banner advertising it was a good idea.
I'm not in favour of the banner.
No, I think you've got to be careful, haven't you? Because
I'll make
you
it
have to play it carefully.
I'll just make an absolute. This isn't the first time that false allegations have been made against us. And read about the others on this website.
Well,
I don't think that's a good idea.
I'm not getting involved. I mean, I should do as I'm told.
You're going to go ahead? I don't think that's a good idea, Neil. I think you should make a separation between this and your other woes.
No, I want to bring them together.
Why?
Because we need to get people reading the website.
Well, we need to get people thinking along the lines. Look, if this has all been said and it's all a load of rubbish, what about the other things?
The banner arrived, brought over by Jonathan, a local journalist and supporter of the Hamiltons. Neil had told me that Jonathan had devoted the last 4.5 years of his life trying to clear Neil's name.
We're making a documentary about Neil and Christine. Yes, well, you're the investigator and local journalist who basically published a book.
You got to the truth of it, yeah?
Got to the truth.
The truth that the press wants to see buried.
That's right.
But they're not going to succeed. They're not going to succeed.
It will come out.
It will come out, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, these things always do.
Are you on your own? I thought David and Jane were coming.
David's coming.
Right, jolly good. Excellent. We're going to do it at 12:30. No,
right.
Not 12:15.
Okay.
So, and Sky are going to broadcast it live. So,
Are they?
Yeah, brilliant. So, should we look at the banner? This. I mean, I don't know if this is going to be broadcast, but this could have been the best thing that could have happened to Neil and Christine, because if it allows the story of what happened to Neil over the Cash for Questions affair to be revisited, and if it attracts interest in my website and the evidence that myself and Malcolm Keith-Hill uncovered, then this man will be back in society and back where he belongs, in Parliament. This is what's happened to Neil since the 20th of October 1994 is a disgrace to this nation and to the press. So print that.
Where are you going to print that?
Would you like that to be? Would you like to be back in Parliament, Neil?
Well, it would, in some ways, yes.
Yeah, I just need a quick word with Neil about how we're going to do the banner, because the press aren't going to want to do a long shot of you in the banner. That's the last.
We're going to stand at the top of the drive.
They're going to want to do close-ups. They'll use every trick in the book to cajole you to get together, so they can do a close headshot. Now, I've asked David to come over here and marshal you to prevent that from happening. Really, to prevent it from happening, because the press have manipulated you all the way along the line. I want you to be kept separate, at least 15 foot apart, so they can't have that shot. And in between the two of you is the banner with the website address on. Okay? So David's going to come over and make sure.
How many are there at the top of the drive?
Oh, 20, 30. David said. Who's David? He is somebody who read my book and became a supporter as a consequence. Hi, Dave.
I think that Neil and Christine need to be very careful about how they link this ongoing thing with the whole Sleaze affair, because it looks opportunistic.
Why not be opportunistic? I mean, the press at the moment is hoping this story is going to go away. This is an opportunity to bring it back. And if they are being opportunistic and it brings to people's attention what happened to them last time round, then I think it's great. I've got to fly.
Where are you off to?
Well, I've got a job at the airport now as a lorry driver. I need a medical, so I've got to go.
You're not working as a journalist anymore?
Can't.
Why?
Well, you give me a job as a journalist, I'll come and work for you as a journalist. You find me. Okay. Can't get a job. Nobody wants somebody like me who's prepared to stick his neck out and go against the tide. They want people who are just going to go with the flow. Can't get a job. Tired. So I'm driving the truck now. I need a medical, so I've got to go.
All right, okay. See you later.
I can't go out holding it back.
I think it would be nice to have, Neil Hamilton.
Yes, I just don't personally.
No, of course not.
It just doesn't feel right. I know it seems stupid. It just doesn't feel right.
Don't worry. I'll see. I don't
one of my hype the whatnot
I actually don't know how to fix these things.
Where is Jonathan now?
He's gone.
Well, that's idiotic. Why is he gone?
He's got to get a medical.
He's got to go.
Is the plan still to go out there? It's Lee from Sky.
Yes, I'm sorry, just any minute, literally.
Literally any minute. Can you hear that? Okay. All right. See you later. Bye.
Just tell them we're going out in a moment.
Who, me?
Yeah,
well, I've already known he's off the phone now.
Hang on, we're 5 minutes late now. That banner is now lying on the ground outside. I honestly, darling, we didn't. Where is it now?
It's on the floor outside the front door.
Well, I won't say I told you so.
Well, how was I to know that he was going to run off?
I know.
Past 12.
No, because he's
an idiot. We won't do it today.
No, we won't. But now look, I mean, what are they doing? They're filming it, presumably.
I don't know.
Will somebody get us just... Yeah, I can't.
As Neil was dispatched to rescue the banner, now stranded on the drive, a local radio station arrived bearing a goodie bag full of complimentary T-shirts.
Well, let's get organised up here, shall we?
Was it better than the last one or not?
Yeah,
we think so.
Dave, so where have we got?
You got to put yours on?
Sorry to disturb you guys.
Jonathan's best is up.
I came down to help. That's all.
Sky awaiting.
And so we went to face the waiting cameras, Neil, Christine and I, and no banner.
We're going straight to Cheshire to hear from Neil and Christine Hamilton. They've just come out of their house to speak to the media. Well, we're just getting pictures now. This is the first time that they have
been seen today. We've been waiting to hear from them all morning. We knew that they were inside that house, and they clearly want to talk to the media. They haven't shied away from speaking to journalists since the allegations broke that Scotland Yard arrested them over sex allegations. Well, let's hear what they have to say.
You'll all get your photographs, so don't worry. You know that now.
Yeah. Just wait, please. I've spent the morning assembling documentary evidence categorically to disprove these allegations. I'm not yet in a position to publish it, but I shall do in due course.
With a little coaching from the press pack, Neil and Christine dutifully acted out today's photo.
Heads up. Listen this way. Come on, heads up. Thank you.
See, I think that was good. You don't want to much better with that silly banner. You should listen to me more often.
Listen, hang on.
You should be our legal advisor. Hide the military symbol.
Is it?
Simply not having one.
That afternoon, we dropped in for tea with Christine's mother, known by everyone in the family simply as Granny.
Report it without fear of harassment by the tabloid press.
The Hamiltons went public when they learnt their accuser had approached the publicist, Max Clifford. The fact is, the law gave them little choice. Nick Hyam, BBC News.
I don't want you in the media.
Well, Mum, we can't afraid. It's too late for that.
However much they pay you, I don't care. I don't like it.
Well, what do we do now?
Plus, it's your job now to appear on television.
No, that's not fair.
Why not?
I mean, yes, they hope to make money out of the media, but not in this sleazy manner.
No, it's happened.
Yes, but
it's
you
no
see,
good
Christine,
wishing backwards.
You are being criticised, both of you,
I know.
for seeking publicity.
I know.
All this is going on camera.
Yes, but this is...
How can you deny that you don't?
We do seek
Mummy, we are seeking publicity now because we want to put our side of the story.
And for a beneficial purpose. Because we've been filming all this as
That's a highly legal sort of statement, Neil. For a beneficial purpose. Only the lawyers understand the beneficial.
I'm not using the word beneficial in a legal sense.
Well, it sounds highly legal to me. I don't talk in terms of beneficial.
No, let me talk in normal terms because we understand each other, don't we? I know he does tend to talk in legal terms. We were already agreed to do this with Louis. And as you know...
Yes, but you didn't know what was going to happen.
No, but just listen.
You should have given Louis his marching orders.
Well, no, I wouldn't see... I agree with Granny up to a point. I think it's good that we're still doing the documentary.
It's good for you.
Well, it's good for me.
But it's not good for us too.
Well, no, the point I was going to make is that this isn't going out for several months, so this in no way affects what's going on at the moment.
Drag the whole thing out of the mire again. Well, this is the last straw, isn't it? To have it all going on tape and...
No, not at all.
Well, it is for me, Neil. I'm sorry, dear. I'm brought up in a different era from you.
It's very important.
These things never happened. There wasn't any television. We got the first radio with the crystals in my youth. The idea that everything you do is going on screen and on tape and on God knows what.
But it's very useful to have
It may be useful to you, but it is not useful to me. All I'm saying is how you appear, can appear, not necessarily do appear.
No, I know.
Not to anybody who knows you or knows us.
I know.
But in this ghastly media circus.
I know.
Easy.
Well, I know that.
Sorry, darling. I'm not going easy for you.
But it's a little bit hurtful, isn't it?
Come on, Louis. The media is incapable of being hurt.
No, Louis is...
Look at him. He's part of the media too. He sits there trying to look innocent.
Doesn't succeed though, does he?
He doesn't succeed as far as I'm concerned.
No, he's all right. Will's all right.
I promise you.
Blame me.
No. I don't believe a word you say.
That evening, and as Christine prepared supper, Neil and I talked about the house, on the market to help pay off his bankruptcy. You've been bankrupt for how long?
Since the 22nd of May.
This year?
2001.
2001, and so about, what is that, 3 months?
Yeah.
How long do you have... you get to sell your own house, do you?
You get to sell it. Well, we have to sell because we need to pay my
They
lawyers.
don't take it away and sell it. They don't boot you out and sell it on your behalf.
Oh, well, they could do, but we put it on the market anyway in anticipation. I owe my own lawyers most of my share of the house, so that's before the likes of Mr. Fayed can get a look in.
It's a nice house, though. How long have you been here?
Since 1990.
Well, I'm perfectly calm and relaxed about it, but I just want to know what this means. Mr. Haig says, please note, I will need full details of all joint earnings. Why should he know what I'm earning?
Who's Mr. Haig?
He's the trustee in bankruptcy who's been appointed.
for vindictiveness to fired, and he's Neil's trustee. He's okay, I have to accept that he's entitled to know what Neil is earning, but I don't see why he should be entitled to know what I'm earning. I'm not bankrupt, I'm not answerable in any way for all of this, and I don't see why I should tell that jumped-up little man what I'm earning. But I suppose I've got to, just like when the police says go and stand in the corner, I have to go and stand in the corner. What sort of country are we living in?
Well,
right, I'll get on with supper, sorry.
It was my last night in Cheshire, and after the stress of the past couple of days, and somewhat under the influence, I possibly over-relaxed.
If you can't joke about... I know this sounds awful because it's so serious and so horrible, and you know how awful it's been, but if you can't joke about it, and if you can't laugh about it, we just wouldn't have got through. We wouldn't have got through the last... I mean, we had 7 years. But you and Neil are getting... I mean, am I wrong? I sense you're getting on quite well. He likes you.
Do you think he does?
I know he does.
How do you know?
Because he tells me things. It's called pillow talk. And, I mean, I do like you. I mean, I'm not... I don't put my arm around everybody.
No. You like to flirt, don't you?
Of course I like to flirt. What's wrong with that? I've told you once before, if not twice, but I'll tell you again. One of the most wonderful things about being happily married, apart from all the obvious things, is that you can flirt outrageously and nobody takes you seriously.
What was it that first attracted you to Neil?
He was a romantic, and he was an individual, and he's just the most sort of tender, loving, caring... Oh, God, he's coming back. I can't say it. He'll go bananas if he hears me talking about it. He'll probably go bananas if he sees us having Darling, we're having a little... Oh, dear, we've been caught out. You see, Neil knows my penchant for attractive...
Would you like some coffee?
Louis's got to present an objective documentary. But the problem is now that you've actually realised that we're actually kind of ordinary human beings. And I don't think you thought that we were. And I seriously don't think that you thought.
Can I ask you one thing, Christine?
You can ask me anything you like. Whether I answer or not is a matter for me.
Does that look like an ordinary human being over there?
That's my husband. Of course he's not ordinary. He's extraordinary. You would have to be extraordinary to be married to me, because I'm pretty grim to live with on a 24-hour basis.
You may say that. I couldn't possibly comment.
You see, Neil's quite relaxed. Here I am sitting here.
He doesn't mind. But this is how your problem's starting away, though. That's why it was a big story when you kissed that student, because...
Oh, why shouldn't I sit here holding your knee? I mean, it doesn't mean a damn thing. It means nothing to you. It means nothing to me. And so what? It's just...
It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
It's not fun.
We're not at a swingers party.
No, it's nothing. It's not even fun. It's just friendship. It's just one human being reacting to another in a perfectly... There's no sex involved. It's just...
Too late for that.
I just kind of...
It's nearly midnight.
Kind of like you. It's awful, isn't it? What's wrong with that? I'm old enough to be your mother. There's nothing wrong with that. But all the whole blooming thing gets misinterpreted.
I turned in around midnight, a little bleary, and unsure whether Christine was being genuinely affectionate or playing some strange kind of game. It was another 2 hours before Neil and Christine came upstairs. Christine looked in on me as I slept. Tuesday morning, and the plan was for me to leave Neil and Christine for a few days that afternoon.
Good morning.
Good morning, darling. There are your boots. I brought you a cup of tea.
Thanks very much. How are you doing?
Can I have a little...
I was now 4 days into the story, and I'd been absorbed into the Hamilton household. I feared I was losing my bearings as a journalist. I felt more like a visiting son of Neil and Christine. Louis Hamilton.
Today's Guide to the Hamilton Circus, pages 4, 5...
By now, a lot of the papers were focusing on the relationship between the Hamiltons and the media. It seemed clear to all that they were innocent of the charges of sexual assault, but guilty of milking the press.
The astonishing double act summoned news teams to their country home.
But Neil and Christine were committed to another photo call that morning, and the press were waiting outside.
We're being accused of, posing and organising the media and everything, which is, so I don't think we want any sort of posed photograph, because it's not fair on us.
Does that... I mean, shall I take the flowers, or do you think that's too posed?
I don't think you should just go out and stand around with flowers for the sake of it.
No, they have asked us to go out because they want people, so all we're doing is cooperating with the press.
I think you should just go out and say, I've got the receipts, and wave the receipts. And end it.
Yeah, we're not going to do anything very much. They're there. There's nothing we can do about it. We're taking pity on them, so they get their picture. I am getting tired. I've had enough. I don't want to look posed. It's not posed. We're going out just to satisfy the clear demand. We haven't summoned them here. We haven't asked for it. But they're there. I'm having a dip.
I can see that. You're getting harassed.
Well, I know I'm getting harassed because I don't know what to do. What?
Let's just go out.
Can't go out now, can I? Oh, I love you. Oh.
What?
Well, I just head up with this coldness. It's like
All right.
horrible accusations that we somehow caused it all.
A few minutes later, and Christine emerged clutching the controversial flowers. But she still hadn't recovered from her dip, and I wondered if, after all the talk of a media circus, she wanted to show how upset she was, and perhaps gain some sympathy.
You know who they're from?
No? Go on, tell me.
It's from Audrey Roberts, otherwise known as Sumiches and Coronations.
Yeah.
Her husband, Mark Eden, aren't they lovely?
Yeah.
Was that all right?
No, I think that was probably a disaster. I mean, that is the last thing that they should have got. I suppose that's what they want, me in tears. I mean, I don't know. Is that a good idea? I can't do anything
I don't
right.
think
I
it
get
necessarily.
criticised if I
Sometimes
go out
vulnerability
there.
is good, isn't it? Sometimes sometimes you want a bit of vulnerability. Do you not?
Well, I can't win, can I? I mean, we're accused of summoning all those people to the end of the drive. We're accused of creating a media circus.
You know what you have to watch out for, because I noticed this as well. It's like the cameramen swinging around and shooting the other cameramen, and then you hear in your head the media circus continues. And then you think, well, they can't all be there covering each other and saying they're all the other ones of the circus and they're not. But then I suppose, in a way, that's what we're doing. Are we part of the circus, or it's a circus that feeds on itself, is it?
I don't know. I want, perfectly reasonable. But, the press want today's picture. They don't want yesterday's picture. This is what Granny can't understand. Oh, for goodness sake, they've got millions of pictures of you. And yes, Granny, but, it's not today's picture. Oh, dear.
A little later that day, I left Cheshire with a plan to meet up with Neil and Christine as and when there were any new developments. 2 weeks later, the police dropped the investigation into Neil and Christine. Back at Neil and Christine's flat, and interestingly, the press pack was nowhere to be seen. It looked like the media circus had finally left town. I thought a little toast might be in order. Since you've had good news.
Look at that.
A bolly.
A bolly.
Oh.
And a widow.
And a widow. Is that what you...
Darling, do the BBC pay you enough to afford champagne?
Wasn't very expensive.
Well, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Don't spoil it. We're not on bail.
I hope that's all right. It's not probably what you're used to.
What, Bollinger? No, it isn't. You're quite right. We're normally used to Sainsbury's Plum. It's very drinkable, but a third of the price.
Police decision to drop their investigation of Neil and Christine Hamilton for alleged involvement in sex offences was widely predicted, not least in this newspaper. The allegations against the couple were made by a woman who was denounced even by her own husband as a fantasist. Listen to this. Deeply unattractive as the Hamiltons are, it seemed difficult to imagine them in the context of a lurid sex case. Now listen to this.
What, because he says because you're unattractive, you couldn't be in a sex case?
No, it says,
I've seen swingers, they're not attractive.
No, shut up. It says deeply unattractive as the Hamiltons are, it seems difficult to imagine them in the context of a lurid sex case. It then goes on to say the Hamiltons deserve less sympathy than most, since they are incorrigible publicity seekers who have already made some money out of their story and will no doubt make more.
Well, there's a grain of truth to that.
Darling, it's all gone to lawyers.
We've been arrested.
Well, but then what's wrong with seeking publicity? What is wrong with that?
No, he's saying we deserve less sympathy because...
No, I don't...
Because
because we live in the media, that's
because
basically
they are
what
incorrigible publicity speakers. Oh, yes, I'm going to get rid of the interfering.
Yep, get rid of that rubbish.
Well, here's not being on bail. Thank
Cheers.
you. Oh, golly.
Onward and upward.
It's written in the Evening Standard.
Onward and upwards, that's what I say.
The Hamiltons were in the clear, and for our last night of filming, I took them over the road for supper.
Neil had wanted to be an MP since he was 13.
With the press pack gone, it occurred to me that the Hamiltons were now free to walk away. But they had plans to bring libel actions against certain newspapers and sue the police for wrongful arrest, and were already suing the woman who made the allegations. If they were looking for kinder treatment from the press, it seemed an odd decision. Whether you like it or not, if you continue, there's a danger that you will be viewed negatively.
No, but Louis is absolutely right. What he's really saying is quit now while you're ahead.
What do you mean by ahead?
Quit now. Don't pursue anybody. Just say, I forgive the police, I forgive Louise, Milroy, Nadine, Sloan, whatever her name is. Just say, OK, the police have dropped the charges, everybody knows we're innocent, just draw a line and say, that's it, goodbye.
Well, I suppose that is a possibility.
Well, I'm not taking the decisions to pursue all this legal stuff. I mean, I know I'm arguing against myself, because really what at the moment is right now, I would just like to walk out of that door and just disappear into oblivion. We have now got the power to create interest in the fight back and also to try and generate interest in the various organisations who are fighting for people who have been accused wrongfully of various crimes. And you can't just walk away from that.
A teeny bit. I mean,
sounds sanctimonious, I suppose. I knew you were going to say sanctimonious. Well, you believe all the cuttings.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't...
Come on, let's go.
I mean, go. We haven't done pudding.
Is she walking out?
She needs more bread.
Is she all right?
No, if the Hamiltons are demanding money to appear on television, that's part of the cause and everybody believes that. If the Hamiltons are actually saying that they want to try and do something that's worthwhile and good, you tell me that's sanctimonious. Well, thank you, Louis. You have completely missed the point of the last whatever minutes of conversation because we are in the limelight, because this whole business has been hugely escalated by the press because there's nothing else going on in August. It is precisely because we're in the limelight that
Macedonia is totally irrelevant to it.
It's because we realise...
No, that's the judgment of news editors all over the place.
I was making a point and you completely cocked it up, so I give up.
No, you don't.
I do, because I've forgotten the thread.
Carrying on.
No, I'm not.
That's an order. Das ist ein Befehl. Cut.
I have forgotten the point I was making. I have, and I'm
very sorry.
It was time to say goodnight. The Hamilton melodrama would continue, probably playing to smaller audiences, but my role was at an end.
Can I have 3?
In spite of everything, I couldn't help admiring their perseverance, keeping the show going in the face of such hostility. But I also wondered whether, after all the years of media glare, they'd convinced themselves there was no other choice.
Look, lurking Louis framed alongside the Hamiltons yesterday. Their geeky pal is offbeat TV interviewer, Louis Theroux.
So are you enjoying it so far, Louis?
The couple returned to their apartment last night, accompanied by television presenter Louis Theroux.
With a documentary team following the...
Look at me, rate quiz.
They're inside the house, we believe, with the BBC documentary maker Louis Theroux.
How do you feel about the script of the year, Louis?
I've no comment.
What's wrong with being saucy?
Nothing, I'm just asking you, are you saucy?
I mean, I've always...
Are you a little bit X-rated?
No, not at all. I mean, it's been a permanent source of regret to me that the one thing I've never been involved in is a sex scandal.
Former Conservative MP Neil Hamilton and his wife Christine had been arrested by police in connection with allegations of a serious sexual assault.
Up one more flight of stairs. I was in a confusing block of flats in Battersea in London to meet Neil and Christine Hamilton. At this point in history, Neil was best known for being a disgraced ex-Tory minister, disgraced for allegedly taking bribes in return for doing favours. Christine was best known for being the wife of a disgraced ex-Tory minister. The plan was for me to follow them as they sought to be known for something else.
Oh, you found it.
How do you do?
What a mouthful of
Nice to meet you.
Nice
You're
to
Christine,
meet
I'm
you.
Louis.
You're Louis, jolly good.
Your hair looks more normal now.
More normal.
No, but do you know what I mean? Because before it looked quite sort of, when you were during the trial, it looked sort of, it was like a bit more
Metallic.
Metallic.
Do you know what I mean? Looks
No.
harder.
Yes. No, I've got it. I've been done over.
I haven't met you before, so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the seeing you on TV, maybe. But you do look. You look excellent.
Thank you. Am I allowed to give you a kiss? No.
Why not?
Anyone who says that to me, it's just a bit easier to manage.
Who's that?
Well, I hope it's Neil.
Is that Neil?
Yeah. I'm assuming that's you. What? Oh, they are here, poking around.
There he is.
Oh, God.
Look at him. How are you doing?
Good morning.
No, darling, this is Louis.
Hello, Louis. Hello, Mum.
He's incredible. He's really got himself into shape. He's lost, how much have you lost? 2.5 stone?
Well, I haven't lost it. I've converted flab to muscle.
Can I feel your muscle?
Oh, that's it. I wondered which muscle you were talking
That's
about.
That's not bad, though.
Not bad, for 52.
Now flex it. Yeah. Now flex it. Now flex it.
My triceps are better than my biceps.
You know, these are pretty solid.
Are they?
It's the trunks that Christine likes best.
Come on, you get in the bar.
So what is your job now? What do you do?
Well, I describe us as professional objects of curiosity. People like you come and interview us.
Is that really... This is your main...
Well, it's not...
Well,
we do a lot
occupation?
of... A lot of... Well, media work generally. Radio, TV, writing. We had to decide after the general election in 1997 when we both lost our jobs overnight. What are we going to do now?
You lost in 97 to Martin Bell.
Yeah.
Couldn't you have run again this year in 2001?
Well, I could have done if I hadn't been bankrupt.
You can't bankrupt run for office.
Bankrupts can't be elected to Parliament.
I want to know why you've got pictures of the BBC here.
Yeah, because I sued them for libel.
Now, what was that about?
That was Panorama.
So you haven't always had a run of bad luck with the courts?
No, well, justice was done in that case.
What was it all about?
Well, I was accused of being a closet Nazi whose aim was to take over the Tory party, and we were going to install a fascist dictatorship in Britain.
Any truth?
Well, it sounds credible, doesn't it? But there it is.
Any truth?
History will relate. No, of course it was completely untrue.
Margaret Thatcher. Friend?
Yes.
Friend.
Really?
She's been a very loyal friend and a very loyal supporter. No, she's not a dear friend, but she's somebody we extremely fond of and admire enormously. And she's been very, very good to us.
Yeah, I was in her government.
Like her?
She's a great...
days.
Oh, yes, she's
Respect
wonderful.
her?
Respect her, yeah.
Yeah, she's a
Respect her enormously?
Enormously.
She's a great lady.
She changed the world.
Changed the world?
She did.
Can I ask about this?
That's my battle axe.
Do you mind being called a battle axe?
Not in the slightest, no.
What about you, Neil? Do you mind it being said that you're married to a battle axe?
No, because that's the brand that we're selling.
Is that the brand that you're selling? I like that. Is that your brand? If you wore a battle axe in the brand, what are you in the brand? What is it? Sort of dormouse? You know, what is the figure? Battle axe
Dormouse. What's the difference between a dormouse and a doormat?
It's a joke, isn't it?
No, it is. It's tongue-in-cheek.
I don't mind remotely being called a battle axe. It's a load of rubbish, really. I'm a pussycat.
But I want to know what Neil is in the brand.
Oh, when he meant brand, he meant me being branded the battle axe.
Yes, I'm nothing in that brand.
There's not a... That's the only...
Didn't you mean media brand?
No, just...
Do you mean like brand? That's your brand.
No, well, Christine
I've got this
is a battle axe for the purposes of generating...
Media interest. Yes. And you are?
Well, I'm not the downtrodden husband.
Why not?
Well, I suppose I could be.
Because if he was downtrodden, that would mean I was treading on him, and I'm not. And these little rude tiles of people chasing each other round with nothing on.
They were done by William Rushton.
Are you quite saucy, a saucy couple of people?
Oh, yes.
No, I'm very staid.
Because I think Conservatives aren't supposed to... They're strong on family, but they're not supposed to be as sexually liberated as people on the left, are they?
Well, that wasn't our experience during the last Tory government, was it?
No, but that's why they got in trouble. Do you see what I mean?
Yes. What's wrong with being saucy?
Nothing. I'm just asking you. Are you saucy?
I mean, I've always...
Are you a little bit X-rated?
No, not at all. I mean, it's been a permanent source of regret to me that the one thing I've never been involved in is a sex scandal.
What about Al Fayed's accused you of procuring rent boys?
Yes, he has, hasn't he?
That's a sex scandal, isn't it?
Can we get one thing sorted out before we go any further? He is not Al Fayed. He's fired.
You don't really mind me saying Al Fayed, do you, Christine?
You mustn't take anything I say seriously. Yes, I do.
You do? So which answer am I supposed to believe? Does she mind?
Far be it from me to tell you what her mind is.
With the name of Al Fayed, or even just Fayed, coming up so often, it seemed like a good time to deal with the scandal the Hamiltons were then famous for. Al Fayed's claim that Neil had taken cash to ask questions on his behalf in Parliament. I don't really follow politics that much, so I'm just sort of a victim of the press to a degree, but from what I can understand, the world at large generally seems to hold the opinion that you've done something pretty naughty.
Because I've been monstered unmercifully in the press over the years on all these allegations.
It is established that you did something wrong, is it not?
No.
You don't.
I lost a libel action.
You lost a libel action, and the Parliament did some sort of parliamentary inquiry find against you.
Yeah, well, a parliamentary commission.
So just to be clear, though, you don't accept that you did anything wrong.
No.
And so Neil, Christine, and I started to spend some time together. First, at a party they'd been invited to celebrate the publication of a new book by their friend Giles Brandreth.
Here he is. This is a magic moment. Very special people.
Yes, Mr. Thoreau.
You're jolly lucky to have this quality here.
Last night, funnily enough, I was reading a thing that you'd written about them where you said Neil and Christine deny the allegations, cash for questions, etc., and I'm ready to believe them. But the more they get slandered, the more one begins to doubt, or something like that. So what, I mean, is that your view? Do you think that maybe they did something wrong?
The problem was that the drip, drip, drip every day, people saying to you, the papers saying and everyone saying they're guilty, you begin to think, well, maybe there has to be something in this.
I mean, that's what I believe.
And lots of people do. And I take the view that Neil acknowledges that he may have done foolish things in the past, maybe greedy, self-indulgent things, but he absolutely categorically denies that he took cash in return for asking questions in the brown envelopes. And I have no reason not to believe him.
No, but Ancram is just a bloated old fart, isn't it? It's hopeless, utterly hopeless.
He doesn't mean anything.
Utterly hopeless. Bloated old fart.
They are guilty. That's how they are perceived. And of course, the more it's said, the more mud is thrown, some of it sticks. Boom, 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 boom. When did it begin this? 1993, 1994? Boom, 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 boom. You're a crook. Boom, 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 boom. Knocked over. You're a crook. And the only person in their intimacy, I mean, what's so marvellous about them is they have this extraordinary marriage.
That doesn't mean to say because somebody is, that actually they aren't a real vulnerable human being as well.
No.
And there are splendid British virtues, such as the stiff upper lip. I mean, actually, it's something that's rather admirable. So, mustn't get emotional.
No, it mustn't get emotional, but but people, because I always come out jolly and bouncy up front, people assume that that's how you are and you don't care, but of course that's not the case. I'm as vulnerable as the next person.
You have to accept, Christina, I don't accept your version of events, but I don't think that should get in the way of us getting on. Do you think we can get past that?
Well, it's quite difficult if you don't accept, because if you don't accept our version of events, then you're saying that we're a pair of liars, and that actually will inhibit seriously maybe even the continuation of making of this programme.
By this point, it seemed pretty clear that the Hamiltons and I would never agree about cash for questions, and I only hoped we could get beyond that. A few days later, and keen to talk more about the Hamiltons' fledgling media career, Neil and Christine showed me Posh Nosh, a pilot for a TV series they'd made. Its premise was that the Hamiltons would arrive in their Bentley at a stranger's house and organise a luxurious meal for them. Christine seemed relaxed and confident in front of the cameras. Neil, less so.
Because it's new labour, you see, new labour, new alcohol. Yeah.
No offence, but your body language is very odd. Don't you think, Christine? Can you see that? He walks like a marionette somehow.
Mother gets served first.
As yet, the pilot hadn't been picked up by any TV station, but it was another good example of the Hamilton brand.
Terry, any more girls?
Thank you very much. Cheers to you all.
When I joined Neil for his daily exercises later, we talked more about their roles as media characters.
We have to be wary of sending ourselves up too much and being made to behave in too demeaning a way. I think you've got to have a sense of humour and you mustn't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah, in a way that's your new career though, isn't it? Sending yourself up, caricaturing yourself a bit.
Yes, that's certainly true, yes.
So it's a dangerous game, isn't it, in a way? So have you worked out what the limits are, Neil? Have you worked out what the limits are?
Well, I'm not sure it's possible to work them out. I think it's something you learn by experience, isn't it?
And so the days continued, and we followed Neil and Christine's routine. But with Posh Nosh not looking like being commissioned anytime soon, and not many other offers coming in, the fact was that Neil and Christine didn't have a lot going on. To be truthful, I was starting to worry where this documentary was heading, and how interesting it was going to be. 2 weeks later, and during dinner one night, Neil and Christine mentioned a mysterious event taking place the following Friday.
We don't 100% know what is going to happen on Friday because Neil has to speak to his solicitor.
Anyway, you
don't want to go into it.
On Friday I'll find out what it is and then that'll be an end of it?
No.
Well, it may be, but it may
well,
not be.
No.
I think I know what it is.
I'll tell you. Listen.
No, you won't.
I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm not. Sorry, when I say I'm going to tell you, I don't mean that. If you know what it is, or if you think you know what it is, then I am, frankly, horrified. If you can even countenance.
Well, maybe I don't.
No, I don't think you do. You can't know what it is because it is so. If you really, you wouldn't be sitting here now if you knew what it was. Anyway, I need another glass of wine.
Oh.
I do, I'm afraid.
It does sound quite serious.
It is serious.
It could be.
It is. I mean,
could certainly be.
We're making light of it because life has to go on, but it is. Well, it's caused a lot of heartache already, hasn't it?
Friday arrived, and I was given instructions to meet Neil and Christine outside their solicitor's office in central London, where all would be revealed.
Hello. Hello, So can we finally put an end to the mystery? Okay.
Right, well, they say that life is what happens to you when you're making out the plans.
Right.
This is something that we hadn't really anticipated when we agreed to do this programme.
Okay.
But this afternoon we're going off to the Barkingside police station.
Right.
Where Christine and I are going to be arrested.
No. What for?
We're going to be arrested, apparently, on accusations of indecent assault.
Both of us, apparently, are going to be arrested. Some woman has said that we, not just Neil, but we, indecently assaulted her.
What does that mean, indecent assault?
Well, we don't know. We don't know the details.
Is that sexual?
Apparently, she has alleged that on the 5th of May, Christine and I were at a sex party in Ilford, and that an indecent assault was committed. Well, I mean, it's absolutely preposterous, but we don't know any more than that. Michael Coleman may be able to, my solicitor...
That you attacked her together?
We don't know the details.
We don't know the details. We may not find out till we get to the police station.
Now, this is Michael Coleman, my solicitor. Come and say hello. Louis?
How do you do? Nice to meet you, Michael.
Nice to meet you.
We've just explained the background.
Do you want to step in a second?
You've represented who else? Jonathan Aitken, am I right?
I've represented Jonathan Aitken. I represented James Hewitt when we got the Diana...
You do all popular people. Do you specialise in... that type of client?
I come into firefighting situations after...
Is that what you specialise in, firefighting?
That tends to be what I'm known for. What we're about to do today is go for an arranged arrest at Barkingside Police Station. The suspicion, of course, is that this is a set-up by either one of the newspapers or one of the people who are otherwise upset with the Hamiltons, but I'm sure we'll see that.
How much would it serve? I mean, OK, maybe the papers would run with it for a couple of days and then it would be immediately clear that it was...
If the Hamiltons are arrested... For an allegation, right? That would be true.
Hamilton's arrested on sex charge. There's your headline.
Right. Then Hamilton's released on sex charge. Makes a small headline.
It's an interesting story, isn't it? I mean, I'm interested in it immediately. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, in a ghoulish sense.
Yeah. It's highly likely that Neil and Christine will appear on the front page of one of the newspapers in the next couple of days, either walking into or walking out of the police station with the headline allegation. And from their point of view, what this gives is an opportunity. This documentary may not be aired for some time after the news, but at least it gives anyone viewing it a better picture of what really goes on, certainly with newspapers and so on in this country.
How are we doing for time?
I think we should probably leave about now.
I should go in the back.
Right.
I could do without being marched off to police stations with threats of being searched, goodness knows what. I mean, what a flaming cheek. Jumped up little Hitlers.
Will there be any refreshments in the police station?
Yeah, if you want it. They're not allowed to beat you up. They used to be allowed to, but not anymore.
What, beat you up?
Yeah, they got banned a few years ago. That's spoiled everything. That weekend, you said you came back from Greece or something.
No, we were off to Italy on the Monday.
Saturday the 5th of May,
That Saturday we were in London.
You were in London on that?
Who were you with that day?
We had a dinner party in the evening with 4 people in the flat.
What time did they arrive? What time did they leave?
Arrived about 7, I should think.
I didn't leave till after midnight.
We don't disclose any of that to the police until they say in much more precise detail what the allegation is. You can understand, I hope, why I tell you to be quiet, don't give the answer immediately.
I promise you, contrary to all history and experience, I shall not say a word unless you instruct me to say it.
What does that mean?
That I shall be good.
Does your mouth get you in trouble sometimes, Christine?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I shall be perfectly happy to say nothing to the police.
As we travelled to East London, Michael delivered some home truths on the role of lawyers as he saw it.
being a lawyer is not application of law, it's a manipulation of people psychologically in order for them to behave in a way that they think they're behaving freely, which suits your purpose. And again, that's what we're doing today. This really hasn't got anything to do about law. I mean, principally what this is about is a psychology game where you're the victims, or you're the ball, as it were, and policemen and I are the players.
This is what I object to in lawyers, is our lives are at stake.
For the fact that we get such pleasure in playing with them.
Maybe an intellectual game.
It is an intellectual game.
It's not very flattering, is it? Made you sound like, what did he say, football? You're a ball.
We kicked the bat.
And it doesn't matter if you're innocent or guilty.
No, we are. That is how we do. That is exactly. The newspapers don't care whether you're innocent or guilty as long as it's a good story. All they're interested in is shifting newspaper. I think it's possible. I hope it's more than possible that there won't be any.
We headed towards the police station, keeping a lookout for any photographers as we walked. The coast seemed clear. Michael Coleman felt that the police should not be aware of our filming Neil and Christine, so we broke away as they neared the building. It was about 3 in the afternoon at this stage, and we began to wait. About 45 minutes later, a few journalists and photographers started to arrive, and over the next 4 hours, more and more followed. Who tipped them off, we'll never know. For the record, it wasn't me. But by 8 o'clock it was a genuine press pack, with TV cameras with live satellite links. Christine was not going to be pleased.
This afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton, by arrangement with the police, were arrested. This arrangement was made 2 weeks ago. An accusation has been made against them that they took part in a rape and indecent assault of a woman in Ilford on Saturday the 5th of May. The details of that allegation are quite horrific, and I think it's appropriate that you know of the allegation in order that if there's any one of you interested in it, you should detail it. It's said that Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton were in a flat in Ilford when a young woman was raped. Whilst she was raped, it's also said that Mr. Hamilton was masturbating onto her, whilst another man, as yet unidentified by the police, was also masturbating onto her, and Mrs. Hamilton was squatting on her face. One point which came out during the course of their interviews, which is probably appropriate for you to know, is that the police raised the name Max Clifford. No charges have been made against any person, and certainly no charges have been made against either Mr. or Mrs. Hamilton.
I take it, Mr. Hamilton, you deny this? We deny this fabrication absolutely categorically. Mrs. Hamilton, what are your thoughts here on these very serious allegations?
I'm very happy to stand next to my husband.
What are your thoughts about these serious allegations?
The whole thing is an absolute monstrous fabrication and a lie, and the fact that Max Clifford's name has been put to us by the police is absolutely no surprise whatsoever. You can all go to your phone. Are you able to tell us what you were doing on the night? The whole thing is a monstrous lie and a fabrication, and it ought to be perfectly obvious to you that it is.
It was much more serious than I could have possibly imagined. With hindsight, maybe I should have been pleased I had such a scoop, but nothing had prepared me for this, and I wasn't sure what my role would now be.
So are you going with
Mr. Hamilton, please. Can I just have both of you?
Put your back down.